We tend to do a play of the game for Film Don't Lie from UGAsports.com. I'm Dayne Young. That's Brent Rollins. But in this case, it's almost the player of the game because it's two plays. But, man, there were so many things that Darnell Washington did for Georgia against Vanderbilt that really deserve praise. And some things, Brent, you and I have talked about him for a long time when we go back to our NFL draft series. I looked around at the room with Coach Donovan and Roddy during the watch-along, and I said, I think Darnell Washington's playing himself to be a first-round NFL pick because teams are going to see this stuff on tape and realize, I can't get this anywhere else.
No, and we said it after game one, really. I mean, we had thought, hey, second and third round, but as healthy as he looked game one, he's a completely different animal. And this was like we've been waiting, we as followers, observers, and those that are completely and utterly fans of Georgia, you've been waiting for 2.5 years for this game. For a game like this, where he's used in a way that he is a true threat in the passing game in different ways. And we saw the gamut of it in this one. Stick routes on third, second down, 6, where he's in the slot. This stuff in line, one-on-one on the outside where they just throw him hitches and he boxes out the guy. This is so much fun. This is awesome.
I mean, the way that he goes up here with one hand, and I think the most important, I've seen him make one-handed plays and one-handed snags. We have two angles of this that we'll flip back and forth to. To me, the fact that he's able to do this without breaking stride and momentum and continue to move forward, that's what makes it like a next-level athlete kind of play.
He is just that. He's an absolute freak of nature. And what's amazing, I hope people that go to the game, like just walk down in the front by the hedges and just watch them warm up and just see what he looks like standing there and moving around and just what a different level of human being that he is.
I think what I liked in particular in this game, and we can sit here and talk about specifically what Georgia did with him. You said this, he's in line here. He has Bowers behind him initially. You set the block, you release, and you go. We've been asking for this because he's an amazing blocker. He may be the best blocker on the team, maybe the best blocker in the country for sure for tight ends. And just the ability to engage, release, go.
Well, a couple things. Just pause it before the snap, and we'll sort of. This is where Georgia's offense has to absolutely annihilate people. It's because look what you have on 1st and 10. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. You got an 8-man box. Excuse me. You got 8-man box. You got one safety, 2 corners who are 7-ish yards off. So you're in some form of man cover 1, cover 3, some form of they are, and for the most part, oftentimes cover 3. But where this guy, the corner at the bottom of the screen, is going to carry Ladd up the field, and that space is going to be voided given the box count. So you run play action and you slip him out. And it's beautiful stuff. And this is what you have to do because, when teams do this to you, this should be an automatic. Like I would almost think a lot of their offense, there's certain times where it's definitively, hey, we're running this play, we're running this pass play, we're running this run play. But where a lot of this is in Stetson's hands, where it's like, okay, Stet, 8-man box, let's go. Let's check the play action. Let's take a shot. But in this game, career high in receptions, 4, career high in targets, 5, career high in yards. I think it was 78, something like that. I mean, this game had everything you would want from him as a receiving threat, except the goal line, dunk on somebody like we saw against Alabama in the SEC championship game.
I mean, he had a great awareness of where the first down marker was each time. I mean, he just gets better and better as a playmaker, and to the point where I don't know if you can avoid. He needs to be a part of the scheme that you want to do because who can defend this guy? No, he's not the fastest player in America or anything. So, there are people that can run with him. Okay, fine. But, what happens when they get there?
It's one of those things. And he was born open. He came out of the womb. Hey, I'm open. Throw it to me. Because he's just that level of different. And we're going to see that in the next play. I think for a second, by the way, he thought about, like leaping that guy, but then he thought better against it.
That is kind of a weekly thing.
He kind of like loads up to do it, like right. Oh, I'm gonna go right there. He loads up, and then nope. He kind of lifts that right leg a little bit. Then he stopped. But yes, these guys have no chance.
And this one, I was literally texting you, Brent, of saying, "Hey, play of the game is Darnell's one-handed snag, right?" And as that text got to your phone, I think this play happened, and you said, "Oh, I think it's this one."
Yes. If this stands, this is one. And by the way, I thought they were like, I think in the NFL they call that incomplete because like there was a time when he actually like didn't complete the catch, like they talk about in the NFL. There was a time where the ball was a little bit separated. But to me, this is the right call. Like this is the right call. This is a catch. And it's a catch on principle because of what he did in this play.
Well, the joke that I had is even if it wasn't a catch, what referee's going to walk up to him and say, "Hey, man, it wasn't a catch. I'm sorry."
And he's just palming the ball like it's a little toy when he's on the ground. This is even more amazing. It's an amazing catch. It's. I mean, what can you say? And the biggest thing watching this play and then Bauer's play that we're going to show in the other video, but you're seeing this more and more each week from Stetson, where he's just putting it up in the vicinity of these two and trusting those guys to go make plays. And when we always kind of reference back to LSU in 2019 and what that offense was, it was Burrow trusting Jefferson and Chase to go do that.
Well, and let's pay attention here to this is coverage that Georgia does this a lot too, where you are playing the defender and not necessarily the ball, and so your head's turn around the other way. This is not going to be an interception because of how this defender is oriented here. Like he's not facing the ball. I mean, if he got tipped and some crazy stuff happened, I suppose, but like in principle, this is a catch or an incompletion, and so in that sense, it's a very safe play.
Those who are the true sort of football nerds look at like completion percentage over expected, CPOE. Like the completion percentage expected here is very low. Like that's just a phenomenal play from him. And what's interesting is, and great for Stetson on the play, one, that he trusts him, but two, that he instantly knew where to go with the ball because the corner at the top of the screen is that I think is that Rosemary Jackson or Meeks? I can't quite tell, but I think it's Rosemary Jackson at the top of the screen. Yeah. But once the corner carries with him and runs with him, because he's comes out sprinting, like the read is there. I know where I'm going with the ball. But two, the other thing that I love from this, it's 2nd and 18. But what do? Just a little bit of play action to slow the rush, to allow the route to develop down the field. I think that's kind of the next step in evolution in their passing game, where you just add that little bit of drop just to get maybe it might slow like 50. I think it's the right defensive tackle, 55 or 50 something. He slows up just a hair and then allows Willock to easily just own him.
You know what I like about this play? And so Darnell's here. You have the little play action, what you're saying. And it's 2nd and 18, so I get that the down and distance dictates this. But so often haven't we seen Georgia with a tight end kind of leak out here to the open space, and it's like a 5-yard route, and it really wasn't anything special. I like that they trust Darnell. Hey, get to the sideline and go down the field. Actually, we have the protection for that. We can do that. And so I like that. I like that aggression.
Well, and plus the protection in this game was phenomenal. Like we're going to talk about the numbers in the next one, but also I think some of this was the Dom play from earlier, where the corner to the top of the screen on that play as well carried the post route, like carried the deep route, and went sort of inside and takes himself out of the picture. And when you know that you've got corners who are going to, I actually think it was the guy at the bottom of the screen that did it in the first half, but when you've got corners that are going to kind of bite on the inside routes a little bit, post wheel, curl wheel, run those type of routes, out and up, whatever you want to call it, run them all day because they're going to be there.
This has been Film Don't Lie, play of the game. We're going to continue to gush over Darnell Washington for the rest of the season. We've done it to this point, but this was kind of his coup de grace game so far of, yeah, he can do that. And Vanderbilt found out, and I don't see a team on the schedule, even college football playoff, that has someone that can match up with him and stop him from doing that. He's a freak.
100%. Well said. Well, it's just that. Drop with that. Freak show.
Freak show. That's Brent Rollins. I'm Dayne Young. Thanks for watching Film Don't Lie. If you're watching live, we're about to begin our second video, a bit more in depth on how Georgia's passing offense was so successful against Vanderbilt. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.